Hello and welcome. Today I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video and share with you what I think are the most beautiful books that I own. Obviously beauty is subjective, so everybody's opinion would be completely different, but these are some of my favorites look-wise, and it was really hard to pick just a few to share with you. I wish I could share like every single book I find beautiful, but I feel like this video would be like at least an hour long, and I don't think anybody wants to sit through that. I also realized when picking out these books that I don't actually own a lot of special editions of a lot of books, just because I tend to only buy special editions of a book if I really, really love that book. I don't like having multiple copies of books that I don't absolutely love and adore, and so a lot of the beautiful editions that I have are books that I have multiple beautiful editions of, and it was very hard to pick which ones were my favorite, but I tried my best and came up with a small little pile here. And I have no idea where to start. Before I do start, I'm just going to let you know that I'm going to try to link all of these editions in the description of this video, so if you love any of them, hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on it. I can't make any guarantees because some of them I might not be able to find, but I will do my best. Also, let me know in the comments some of the most beautiful editions of books that you own. I'd love to look them up and just see some of people's stunning book editions and maybe see if I can get my hands on some of them too, because I'm always looking for beautiful books to add to my collection. But starting off, I have this absolutely gorgeous edition of the Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales. Hi. Hi. This edition was published in 2020 by Rockpoint. Oh. And it is absolutely stunning. I love the illustrations on it so much, and the inside is actually illustrated as well. This is just the end pages, and it's the exact same in the back as well, but this edition is just absolutely stunning. Obviously, there are so many different stunning versions of this collection, but when I bought this one, I didn't actually own any Grimm Fairy Tales yet, and so I was super excited when I saw this edition of it. I do believe this is probably the only edition I'll ever buy, just because there are way too many of them, and I feel like if I started collecting beautiful editions of these, my entire bookcase could potentially just be Grimm's Fairy Tales. But this one is stunning, and when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. It is just absolutely gorgeous. So I guess next would be this beautiful edition of The Great Gatsby. This edition was published in January of 2021, and it is very true to the original 1925 text. They decided to keep all of the spelling errors and grammar errors and stuff in this edition to keep it faithful to the original. And there's just the back. It is absolutely stunning. And I just love the little green light on the front. It's such a cute touch. And then I'll just quickly show you the naked book without the dust cover. It's very simple, but it's got two beautiful little people on the front of it. And then the end pages are nothing special, but it is illustrated on the inside, and some of the illustrations are absolutely stunning. If I can find one that doesn't spoil anything. So like this one obviously depicts a scene at one of Gatsby's huge parties, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's illustrated by Adam Simpson, and he did a phenomenal job at capturing the Roaring Twenties in his illustrations. Okay, the next book I want to show you is not in any way, shape, or form a deluxe edition or anything of this book. It is just a gorgeous cover, and I absolutely love it, and that is Pandora. It's just super shiny. I don't know what you would call that. The word to describe this is escaping me right now, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it's definitely giving like Greek mythology vibes meets like Victorian era, if that makes sense. I don't know, for like the mass market paperback being this stunning, I could not imagine how beautiful a deluxe edition of this book would be. This next one is also just a normal mass market paperback edition, but I absolutely love it, and it's To Make Monsters Out of Girls by Amanda Lovelace. This is a collection of poetry, and I just love like the dark kind of vampire vibes you get from the front of it. It's super simple, but I think that's what's so beautiful about it to me. It's just the simplicity of it and how bold and striking the cover is. And then one more that I'm pretty sure is the normal, oh maybe this is a special edition. I'm not entirely sure. This one might be an Indigo exclusive edition, but it's definitely a signed edition, and that is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I just love how stunning the dagger and the roses are on the cover, but the showstopper for this book is actually the end pages. They are absolutely gorgeous. And then this is the back end pages, and this edition is actually illustrated throughout as well, which is really nice. And then as well, it just has Olive Blake's signature. I actually have 3 books by Olive Blake that are signed. I didn't go and get them signed or anything like that. I just bought them on Indigo like that. But when I saw this one, I knew I absolutely had to have it just because of the stunning end pages inside of it. And the fact that it was signed was honestly just a bonus. Okay, next are 4 books that I know that I've shown in a previous video, but I cannot get enough of them. They are absolutely stunning and I love them so much. And that is The Girl from the Other Side quadrology series. These are the deluxe editions and they are absolutely stunning. Stunning. You cannot convince me otherwise. These are the most beautiful manga that I own. So this is the first one and I'll just kind of turn it for you. And if you like the vibe that the covers are giving, I highly recommend this manga series. It is just as good and beautiful as the covers of the deluxe editions are. I highly recommend. This is the second one. Still absolutely stunning. And I love how all of them have like a different kind of little picture engraved into the back of it to kind of represent that edition. So this is the third one. And as you can see too, they're kind of giving like different like seasons. And then this is the fourth one. I really hope you can see this. I know like there might be a little bit of reflection. They were a little bit pricey compared to, ooh, I almost dropped it, compared to just getting the regular versions of these books, but I could not pass it up because they are so gorgeous. And they make an absolutely beautiful collection as well. These I'm actually going to put right back on my shelf because they were definitely load-bearing books. Okay, there we go. So next, let's get into a little bit of classic literature. So this is a Penguin Classics Deluxe edition of Dracula by Bram Stoker. This was illustrated by Ruben Toledo, and it is absolutely stunning. It is definitely one of my favorite editions of Dracula that I've ever seen. Just the illustration on the back alone is gorgeous. And then as well, just the inside of the cover, it's almost like little end pages, but this is a paperback, but it has like those little flaps that you get on like a hardcover slip, but it's just absolutely stunning. I love this edition so much. The colors and the dark gothic vibes are just so beautiful. And then this is another Penguins Classics Deluxe edition. This one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and it is another one that the back is just as stunning as the front, and it also has beautiful insides of the slipcover. And this one was also illustrated by Ruben Toledo. And then we have one more illustrated by Ruben Toledo. This one is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and it is once again stunning, cover to cover, absolutely beautiful. And then you have like the insides again. When I saw the 3 of these books, I knew I absolutely had to have them. The spines go beautifully together and they're such like dark gothic vibes. And another thing that I really love about them is that like the edges are all really like a rough cut. So it gives it kind of like that old book kind of feeling. I just think it's a really great touch for classic literature, and it definitely gives these editions a little bit more character. Then while we're on the subject of classic literature, of course I had to pick a few different editions of Pride and Prejudice. I won't show you all of them. I personally think all of the editions that I own are stunning, but once again, this video would be like an hour if I showed you every single one of them. Starting off strong is this Andrews McNeill edition of Pride and Prejudice. This one, the cover kind of sells it pretty short. It's nice, but it's nothing like absolutely breathtaking, but it is the inside that really sold this one for me. So just the end pages alone kind of give you a sense of how absolutely beautiful this book is, but there are like little illustrations like this all throughout the book that kind of just give it a little bit more of a fancy kind of feeling. And then also throughout this edition are like little illustration cards like this. And then it also has like full-blown letters in it. I wish I hadn't have closed that page because I don't know exactly where this goes. Okay, well, anyway, this is the infamous letter to Elizabeth Bennet from Mr. Darcy, and it has that like handwritten look to it. It's just an absolutely stunning touch to this edition. Like I said, this edition of Pride and Prejudice looks so simple on the outside, but once you open it and get into it, you realize just how much time and effort was put into creating this one, and it's just absolutely stunning. It's definitely, on the inside, one of the more beautiful editions that I own of Pride and Prejudice, and now I have to figure out where this goes. But I just thought I'd show you too the amount of effort they put into just the envelope of this letter. Stunning. Another edition of Pride and Prejudice that I own that has handwritten letters in it is this beautiful one that was published by Chronicle Books. This one has 19 handwritten letters in it. Oh, and I think I just happened to actually grab the Mr. Darcy one again out of this edition. And like you can just see, once again, the effort that went into making this. Absolutely stunning. I read this edition, I think, last year, and getting to hold the letters in your hand while you read them definitely adds to the experience of reading Pride and Prejudice. I absolutely loved doing that, and it was nice too because once you got through so many pages, it's like you were rewarded with a little handwritten letter that you got to actually like pull out and open, and it felt like you were the one receiving the correspondence. But this is just absolutely stunning. So all of the letters are kind of in their own sleeve at certain points in the book, and they line up with where it is on the page as well. But this one is absolutely stunning. My boyfriend actually bought this one for me, and it's one of my favorites because of that, but also just because the letters make it super special and a very fun read. And then I have this stunning edition of Pride and Prejudice illustrated by Bill Donovan. So he was actually an artist for Christian Dior, so obviously he has a lot of talent when it comes to the fashion and style of this era. And also the texture of this edition is so interesting. It's like cloth bound, but like a silky kind of cloth bound, if that makes sense. And then these are the end pages. And throughout the book, there are stunning illustrations like this one. This one is definitely one of my favorites in the book. The only complaint I might have about this edition is that sometimes the illustrations don't perfectly line up with where they should be in the story. So if you're reading about Pemberley, Mr. Darcy's estate, I don't think the illustration is exactly when they're talking about Pemberley. It's like probably 5 pages later, which was a little bit awkward to read, but it's stunning nonetheless, so that kind of makes up for it. That one was definitely one of my more expensive editions of Pride and Prejudice, but it was 100% worth it. And then I have a cloth-bound Penguin Classics set of Jane Austen's works, and I won't take every single one of them out because, well, first of all, I probably won't easily be able to get them back into the box, but also I don't want to bore you, but they're absolutely stunning. Everything you see on the spine is the pattern that goes around the entire book, and the box itself is just beautiful. It is also cloth bound, and this was a very pricey box set, but it was absolutely worth the money 100% just because of how beautiful it is. And it's definitely very heavy. The only worry I have for that cloth bound box set is I have seen reviews where people say if you're reading it and your hands are a little bit sweaty, sometimes the design can come off some of the books. That makes me a little bit nervous to actually read those. I still probably will, but I'll try not to like hold it with my hands as much. I don't know. It's definitely one I'm going to be very careful with in the future. And then last, but most definitely not least, these were really hard to choose my favorites for because I collect different editions of these books. They are some of my all-time favorite books. It's kind of a toss-up for me between Pride and Prejudice and The Lord of the Rings, but I definitely own quite a few stunning editions of The Lord of the Rings, and I have to show you a couple of them. Actually, you know what? I'm showing you 2 of them, so it's not that crazy. I could show you all of them because I personally believe they're all stunning, but I will spare you. In the future, I would definitely love to do an entire video dedicated to just my editions of The Lord of the Rings because I 100% believe that they deserve their own video. But for the sake of people who might not be into that, and then also the length of this particular video, I will spare you from that this time and stick with these 2 editions. So they're both actually illustrated by Alan Lee, and they are both absolutely stunning as well. This one is a bind up. All of the books are in this one edition, and first of all, just the spine alone is cloth bound and stunning, and it comes in this beautiful slipcover that protects the book itself, and it has like the blurb that you'd see on the back of a book actually on the slipcover, so when you take the book out of the slipcover, it's not actually on the back obscuring the picture. So take it all in. It took me a long while to take it in when I first saw this. Absolutely beautiful. When I saw this online, when it was going to be released, I knew I had to have it. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it is illustrated on the inside as well. I don't know if you can see that, but I hope you can. Absolutely stunning. There are not enough words in the English language to describe how in love I am with this edition of The Lord of the Rings, and that's why I just keep saying stunning, because that is the best word I can think of to describe this edition. And now to get it back into the sleeve. That wasn't so bad. And then this edition, just kidding, just kidding. And then at last, we have the 3 books for The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit split into their own separate books. And this is also illustrated by Alan Lee. It is a gorgeous box set. Like, just the box itself is gorgeous. And then we have the books themselves, which, once again, I'm gonna say it, stunning. Absolutely stunning. We have Smaug on the back of The Hobbit and a map as the end pages. And these are the back end pages. And naturally, all 4 of these books are illustrated throughout by Alan Lee, whom, if you do not know who Alan Lee is, he did a lot of the artwork and conceptual designs for the Peter Jackson adaptation of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So here is the Fellowship of the Ring. We've got Mr. Bilbo's trolls on the back. Then we have the 2 towers. The 2 Towers is definitely my favorite just because of how dark it is. I love the dark, spooky vibes with Shelob. And then we have The Return of the King. I think Alan Lee captured the essence of these books beautifully. Each one is different than the last, but they're all very cohesive at the same time, and they all accentuate a memorable scene or moment from each book. So I'm definitely absolutely in love with those ones. I think those ones and the previous one that I showed you came out around the same time, and I knew I had to have all of them just because they are absolutely stunning. If you collect The Lord of the Rings, you need them for your collection as well. I haven't read from these editions yet. I'm slightly scared of ruining them. It's not going to stop me from reading the book. It's just definitely going to stop me from snacking while reading the books. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave this here. I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy reading.